Welcome to A Magical Life, Health, Wealth and Weight Loss. I'm your host, Magic Barclay, lead practitioner at Holistic Natural Health Australia and #1 best-selling author. In this podcast, I aim to give you practical tips on how to accelerate and sustain your health, increase your financial, spiritual and emotional wealth, and to look at something that haunts many of us needlessly, weight loss. In some episodes, I'll have guests available to give you even more tips, but in others, the floor is yours. Drop us a line at A Magical Life Podcast on Facebook and let me know what you would like to know more about. Now, sit back and enjoy, because it is time for you to create and truly discover a magical life. Welcome back to A Magical Life. I'm your host, Magic Barclay. Today, Zehra Mahoon joins us. Zehra has a mission to guide others to stop making the mistakes that are preventing them from their success and ultimate joy by teaching them the power of the law of attraction based on her signature heart and mind alignment method. She is the author of 12 books on these subjects and the creator of the Unlimited 40-Day Law of Attraction Workbook and Support Group. After committing to completely transforming her self-worth in 2006, she went from massively being in debt to owning multiple properties and creating a thriving business, as well as healing her relationships. She shares her personal journey to help people understand the power of reclaiming their self-worth. Welcome.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Wow, there's so much to unpack there. Let me just dig in here. We've all heard of the law of attraction. How on earth did you go from being massively in debt to owning multiple properties?
I just followed the guidance that kept coming to me. So as ideas came into my mind, okay, do this. I didn't question those ideas. I trusted them and I just went and did whatever I was being guided to do. And guidance is not, nobody blows a trumpet. Guidance is a thought that you were not thinking that suddenly drops into your head and you were not thinking it. You are not the thinker of the thought. It came from somewhere else. So I just started really following my guidance. And in the past, I used to, when I had guidance, I would question it. Should I not? Is it really going to work? But then I got into this phase where I said, nope, I haven't been good at making decisions for myself. I'm just going to follow my guidance. Wherever it takes me is going to be better than any path I craft for myself. So that's how I got out of trouble.
Sounds brilliant. Listen, I ask the same 3 questions of everyone, and I'm really excited to hear your answers. So the first one is, what can your expertise do to accelerate health? Not just the physical, but also emotional and spiritual health.
I teach people how to understand the rules that the universe uses in order to grant wishes. Once you understand that, everything becomes possible. And I do it by using experiences from my own life, analogies that I've developed over the years to explain things to people. And based on all the stories that I've actually accumulated over the years from people that I've coached and people who are part of my community. Because I feel that when you have evidence that something works, if it works for someone else, it could work for me. I think that that is a really good place to start changing your life. You've got to have a role model. You've got to have something that you can follow. And a lot of times in our personal lives, we don't have those role models. So I guess as a mentor, I become kind of a mentor for people, and I mentor them to become their best self and to start using the law of attraction to manifest the things that they want.
Fantastic. And we talk about wealth here as well. So we've touched on how you changed your wealth, but what would be your top 3 tips to creating wealth, not just financial, but also personal and emotional wealth?
I think you said that very well, because it's not about one thing. Everything in our lives is connected. If you change one thing, everything else changes alongside. So I would recommend to stop obsessing over it, because there's a difference between passion and obsession. Passion, when you're driven by passion, you are high flying, your emotions are positive. When you're driven by obsession, there's effort in it. It's not a pure energy. So stop obsessing about the bills that need to be paid or the things that need to be done, because when you obsess over something, you're getting in your own way. Try to become passionate about manifesting wealth, and that is going to be a completely different energy. Sometimes what that means is to completely stop thinking about money. That's one of the strategies that I followed. I just stopped using the word money at all, completely. I stopped using the word money because I realized that the word money was a trigger for me, and it had linked with it a lot of negative beliefs that were not serving me. So by giving up the trigger, I gave up the beliefs. So that's a really, really important way to do it. Don't take things too seriously, is number two. What I'd say is don't take life too seriously. Because when we take things seriously, we overthink them. We go into the nitty gritty of it. What are the pros? What are the cons? What did they really mean? That person said that to me. Why did they say it? What did they really mean? What was behind their words? And when you go down that rabbit hole, it never does us any good to go down that rabbit hole. So, last thing that I would say is that the vibration of abundance is not just the vibration of money. The vibration of abundance is the vibration of having an open supply of things. And so we have an open supply of blue skies, water to drink, air to breathe. When we start noticing the abundance that we already have in our lives, more abundance shows up, because that's what law of attraction is. Whatever you pay attention to, you magnetize and bring more of something that resembles it into your life. So if you start noticing abundance, abundance of flowers, abundance of squirrels on the street, more abundance will show up in your life.
I think we've all seen that play out. Like you see, or you think of a red car, for example, and then all of a sudden, every second car on the road is red and you didn't notice
Exactly.
that before.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. It's not like suddenly red cars, were transported from Mars and put on Earth. No, they were always there, but you were not calling them into your experience. Soon as you start focusing on red cars, now you're calling them into your experience.
Great insight there. And we talk about weight loss here. So many people are really focused on losing weight. And, I'm guilty. I've got this in my title of the podcast, and we ask the question all the time. And I know that focusing on losing means that you're going to gain it back. But when people are really battling with their weight, how can law of attraction help them on that journey?
You see, if weight keeps coming back, it keeps coming back because you have beliefs about it that are bringing it back. Unless you change the belief, your action is not going to have a permanent effect. So I actually teach a program called Drop It. It's a weight loss program based on the law of attraction. And what I teach people is prevention is different from cure. So when we talk about prevention, we can use a different set of tools than what we have to use when we're talking about cure. And so on the cure side, you've got to go deep and root out all those beliefs that are getting in the way and your health. And one of the things to do also is to stop talking about weight loss and start talking about health. Health Health is more important than weight loss. If your body is healthy, that means it's functioning perfectly. And when your body is functioning perfectly, then it will not accumulate weight because your body knows how to expel food material that you don't need. That's what your digestive system does. So it's about coming to that place where you start believing in the ability of your body to know what to do. And that is a journey, because over the years, we have collected so many negative beliefs about food. It's surprising we can eat anything at all, because I can tell you, whatever you put on the table, there's someone out there somewhere who has either had a bad experience about it or done research and can prove to you that that thing that you got in front of you is harmful and has side effects. So over the years, people have come up with a list of side effects for food consumption, like medication. If you eat this will go wrong. If you eat this will go wrong. And the thing is, our bodies know what to do. We don't have to obsess over food. We just need to trust the wisdom of our body. My body knows what to do with what I'm giving it. We used to trust it when we were kids. We used to eat whatever we wanted to eat, and our body did its job. But once you start accumulating beliefs, a popular belief that I don't think any woman, there's not a single woman on the planet who has not encountered this belief, and that is that carbs are bad. Don't eat potato chips, it's bad. And the thing about that is it's a belief. So by law of attraction, here's the most important thing to understand, that if you push against something, meaning that you create a scarcity of it, then you create a desire for it. You cannot get rid of foods, because by thinking about them, you are attracting them. So it's complex. Law of attraction for weight loss is complex, but I can tell you that the effects of weight loss using law of attraction are more long lasting and permanent, and you feel better in your skin, you feel healthier. And I think that that's the main thing. Once you've already gained weight, you can't deal with it just by using a different set of thoughts or affirmations. You do have to work on your beliefs about food, and you do have to work on your beliefs about exercise. So it's an inclusion based universe. We have to start talking about what we want instead of talking about what we want to get rid of. And at the end of the day, it requires commitment. You have to be willing to do what it takes to get to that place of health that you want to achieve. Because with health will come the weight loss. Weight loss is automatic, because weight loss means that your body is out of equilibrium, and health means that your body is in equilibrium.
I often actually tell my clients that, who say, well, my main issue is weight loss. And I say, well, from my personal journey, I can tell you that unless you fix what the systems of the body are fighting, whatever they're trying to heal, the weight loss won't come. You can't just
Right.
focus on the end result.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, exactly. There are things that need to be done. There's work to be done. People have all sorts of beliefs about exercise. They have all sorts of beliefs about food. And every single person that I've met and worked with so far has a totally different set of beliefs. So it's not a cookie cutter solution. It has to be modified to fit the individual. And that's why when I teach law of attraction based weight loss, it's a program where you can join the live Q&As that I do on a weekly basis, because that's where I can help people to actually get the answers that they need for themselves. It has to be driven by the individual.
I love that. Zehra, now we've touched on a fair bit, but in your bio, you mentioned that you're the creator of the Unlimited 40-Day Law of Attraction workbook. Can you tell us what that workbook's all about?
Yes. So, what was happening with me very early in my practice of law of attraction was that I learned how to use the tools that constitute the body of work that is law of attraction. I learned to use them the correct way. There's a right way to use affirmations and a wrong way to use it. And I remember the days when I used to recite 100 affirmations every single day in the morning, and nothing changed in my life until I discovered what makes affirmations work, what makes visualization work. Because, I mean, there's so many people who are using visualization and nothing's happening in their lives. So there's something missing. And so I went hunting for what was missing, and I simplified it and included it in the 40-day Law of Attraction workbook. It's a workbook that will help you release negative beliefs. It is a workbook that will help you inculcate new powerful beliefs, and it will show you the right way to meditate, affirm, visualize, script, and use all the tools that are out there. And it's based on my own personal experience, because I discovered that when I stopped doing the things that I told myself I should be doing, like visualization and affirmations and meditation, when I stopped doing those things, life didn't go too well. So I created the 40-day workbook, and I've been doing the 40-day workbook over and over again since 2016. It was published in 2015. And in 2016, I realized that I could not stop doing the exercises. I made myself accountable by announcing to the world that I was going to run the 40-day Law of Attraction bootcamp every 43 days. And so that is what happens. Every 40 days, we complete the workbook. Then I run a webinar called How to Get the Most Out of Your 40 Days. And we start the workout again. So I've been doing it every 43 days since 2016. And I teach it every day, and I share with people all the exercises. We do them together every single day. And so it keeps me accountable, and it's helped me to completely shift my life. Completely. Like, it's night and day, the difference in my life. So
I think
that's
I
what
know
the
what I'm
40
doing soon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the 40-day workbook is all about. That's it's life-changing.
I love that. So, what is your signature heart and mind alignment method?
One of the most basic mistakes that people make in understanding law of attraction is in understanding that the universe looks at intention and attention differently. We feel that we're deserving, and we should be given all the things that we are asking for, and that is true. But unless you have heart and mind alignment, the universe will not yield, or the universe will yield, but you will not be able to allow the things that you're asking for into your life. So I created a method. I'm a scientist by nature, and I like there to be processes. Like, I should be able to follow step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and get the same result every single time. And what started happening when I was learning about law of attraction was that it was haphazard. There didn't seem to be any process. And so I went about creating a process. The heart and mind alignment method is the process that takes you from step 1 right to the end, so that now you know exactly what to do every time. And if you do it every time, then you should get results that you're supposed to get every single time. So that's what the heart and mind alignment method is all about.
So, Zehra, we've covered a lot in this episode. What do you think the listeners need to hear that we haven't touched on?
Well, I think that if I was going to share something right now, it would be that just lighten up, become non judgmental. Don't judge yourself, first of all. Don't judge other people. It's just not worth the amount of energy that you would expend in doing all of that thinking. Instead, remember that whatever people are doing is about them and not about you. It only affects you to the extent that it is an indication of where you are and what you are attracting. Because if I attract someone rude into my life, I'm doing the attracting. So I need to do some shifting so that I don't attract more rude people into my life. So everyone who shows up in our lives, it's not about them. It's about me and what I need to do next. And I think that if we remember that, we start seeing people and things very differently. And that is really helpful.
I think that's such a beautiful sentiment. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. And I hope that our discussion is helpful to people out there who are looking for answers.
Definitely. Now, before I let you go, we love freebies here. What can you offer the listeners and where can they find that?
I have a free book called Why Me? Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People on my website? So you can most definitely download that. And the other thing I offer is if you have a question about the application of the law of attraction, you can email me through my website and I will post a video response on my YouTube channel for whatever your question is.
That is very generous. Now you can find Zehra at www.zmahon.com and on Facebook at Mahoon. You're also on Instagram and your YouTube channel as well. So can people just find you by searching up your name on YouTube?
Yes, if you just go to Google and put my name in there, everything will show up.
Love that. There is so much goodness there and so much that you can change the way your life pans out. And I'm looking forward to this 40-day law of attraction.
You would be most welcome. I would love to have you join the next group.
Thank you so much. Listeners, thank you so much for your time. I hope you got a lot out of this episode with Zehra. I have been taking notes the whole time Zehra was talking, so I hope you were too. Don't forget to go and leave us a great Apple review, Spotify review, wherever you're listening to this podcast. And for now, listeners, go forth and create your magical life. Thanks for listening today. Please subscribe to hear future episodes, leave a review, and share this podcast. You can follow us on Facebook at A Magical Life Podcast or at Holistic Natural Health Australia. That's holistic with a W. You can find us on Instagram at Holistic Natural Health or at www.holisticnaturalhealth.com.au. That's where you'll access all sorts of articles, freebies, and more.